I'm Michael Gale. I'm the Group CEO of the Entrepreneurs Group. We're based in Abu Dhabi at the Abu Dhabi global market, and we're involved in the entire life cycle of entrepreneurs. So we help entrepreneurs when they're at the ideation stage and looking for first help in terms of creating business plans and initial capital. We help them as they go through venture stages. We help them at the M&A stage, at the exit stage, the IPO stage, and after they've exited, we help them manage their wealth. So we're literally across the entire life cycle of entrepreneurs. We do that by having a funds management division, which does traditional venture funds. We have an investment banking division that provides a lot of advisory to people. We have a consulting division that helps people, and then we have a wealth management, asset management division. So it's a sort of full cycle, the idea being that entrepreneurs spend, in my belief, more than half of their time dealing with financial services and consuming financial services, and a lot of that's trying to work out who to work with. So we seek to be sort of from start to finish full service for entrepreneurs. So primarily for us, we actually invest in later stage companies. So our primary venture investments are more like Series C and D, and it's when companies are growing, they've proven themselves in an existing market, and there's a cross-border opportunity. So, somebody's successful in one market, they're entering another, they need to add on multiple markets to get an exit. That's actually where we put the bulk of our capital, and we make, quite large scale investments up to, 100 million. The reason we invest in startups is because by the time companies are ready for the bigger investment, it's too competitive, lots of other investors are in there. So we invest in startups really to get in early. And so we're not very worried about the amount of money. Generally with startup investing, we want to do 500,000 to 2 million, but it's more about, is it a good startup, is it a good team in getting in, because we're not looking really to make so much return on the investing in startups. We're looking to get a pool of startups that we can invest in later, much larger amounts of money. We'll invest almost any amount that's required for a startup. We will start quite small if it's needed. Our comfort range is 500,000 to 2 million for startups, but we are pretty flexible because we're mostly looking to find the right startups for the future. So depending on the stage of the business and the geography. So when we're investing in growth scale technology businesses, they need to be in the key markets where they're exits. So that tends to follow a little bit about what's sort of in vogue in the venture community. So, today a lot of people are investing in AI. A few years ago it was fintech. So we're not that dissimilar in that we follow those bigger trends, because you have to be part of the pool for there to be exits. But in terms of when we're investing in startups, we're a lot more agnostic about the type of startup. Generally speaking, we're technology investors. The people on our team all have technology backgrounds. I come from spending a lot of time in Silicon Valley building software companies. So we do have a bit of a bias towards software companies, but generally we're pretty sector agnostic and we're pretty stage agnostic. We really are trying to look at fundamentally good businesses. Tablon is really interesting because there's a lot of, obviously in Dubai there's a lot happening, many people moving from outside. The interesting thing about the startup economy in the UAE is it's all foreigners moving here. There's unfortunately very few Emirati entrepreneurs doing startups, and because there's few of them, they have a lot of resources available. So most of these people are coming from elsewhere, so they don't necessarily have existing networks. And there's a lot of networking events, and particularly in Dubai, it's very, very social because people come from elsewhere. It's easy. Everyone's kind of looking to meet other people, but there's not very many places where there's actually a structured format. So for us, it's been fantastic. We've actually been quite surprised at the amount of investment leads we've been able to get by going to the events. It's been very, very good for us. Investors are investing in people. People in the investment community talk about, are you making a horse bet or a jockey bet? You know, are you investing because it's a good business, like a good horse, and it doesn't matter what jockey's on it, or are you investing in a jockey because you can put a jockey on any horse? With startups, really, yes, you have to have a good business. People want to invest in a good business plan. They have to believe in this plan. They have to believe in the business, but it's people, people, people. And so the thing there is, you need to be authentically yourself. At the moment, you know, doing startups in our culture has become like, people used to, you know, when I was young, everybody wanted to be in a rock band, or, you know, move to Hollywood to be in the movies, which meant actually waiting tables, waiting to be discovered. But people, you know, now startups have become so cool, everybody wants to do one. So there are so many programs you can go to, so many speeches that, you know, you've got to have the perfect deck, this many slides, or you've got to have this, or you have. The problem with all of that is, if you're an investor, and you know, I've seen literally thousands of pitches, right? And in the end, they all start to look like they came out of the same sausage factory. It's the people that matters. So don't be trying too hard to follow the book you read, the podcast you've been listening to, you know, what you think people like Elon Musk did, because it's not what he actually did to get the money. You know, follow your heart and be yourself. Be yourself. People want to invest in people, and you have to be authentic, because investing in a startup is investing in an entrepreneur or entrepreneurs, and it's all about trust. People can't trust you if you're not being yourself, and that's the biggest thing. Just be yourself, and, you know, be appealing to investors, be authentic, be trustworthy, and then they'll be fairly forgiving.